This is your daily morning motivational message because motivation, it works the same way soap and toothpaste work. If you use them consistently, you will consistently get good results. And I want your mindset for success, your mindset for your drive and aspirations and ambitions and dreams and goals to be constantly never improving, constant never ending improvement, meaning you're growing on a perpetual basis. You're always learning and stretching and reinforcing the work that you've done the day before. So I want you to understand there is a cumulative impact to these calls. There's a cumulative impact to how you are programming yourself and your mind for success. The first step, of course, is to unlearn a lot of the poor thinking habits that you have cultivated, to unlearn negative self talk and going down the toilet bowl flush, to unlearn some of these poor principles that you have lived by, whether it be procrastination, lack of integrity, not living to the utmost of your character and ethics, laziness, making excuses. You have to remove those things and then you replace them with the values and the principles that are aspirational, that if somebody else were to model you, their lives would improve too. So if they're modeling for you timeliness, because you're no longer late, that's great. It's going to have a positive impact on them. If they're modeling from you integrity, doing what you say and saying what you do, it's going to have a positive impact on them emulating you. If they model from you professionalism, excellence, mental toughness, faith, vision, all these things, then their lives are going to improve too. So that is the process. That's why we do these calls every day. So on this day, I want to talk about, on this Faith Focus and Follow Through Friday, dreams can come true. Dreams can come true. And it starts with a dream. It starts with that initial vision, that impulse, that desire to make something of your life, to do better than your current station, to give yourself an opportunity to level up. And it doesn't matter, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't matter where you're at in your journey. I don't care if you just graduated high school or college. I don't care if you're 15 years into a very comfortable career. I don't care if you're on the other side of 50 and you haven't really reached for anything significant in your life. You haven't achieved anything yet in your life. You can absolutely hit the reset button today and you can have a dream that will also have you, and it can come true. I remember calling my father and I asked him what his availability was. And it was like March 7th through the 13th. I said, Dad, are you available on these dates? He said, yeah, why? I said, I want you to block them out for me. Just block them out. He was like, okay, well, what's going on? I said, I'll tell you later, but just make sure you block those days out. So now he's got, I got curiosity going. He's like wondering, what's he talking about? What's going on? So then I made some calls. And I had a friend who would book a lot of my travel at that time. And I asked her if she'd be willing to, book a flight for my father, for he and I together. And so she was really kind and she did. And I said, I want you to make sure you put us in business class because I want him to be able to sit back in the seats that you can turn into a bed. I want him to have the best food on the flight. I want him to have his own pod and space and feel comfortable because he's never flown that internationally. So she was like, okay. So then I called him back and I said, hey, here's what we're going to do. You're going to meet me here. So I'll get you a flight to this particular city. And then we're going to meet here. I think it was in New York. And then we're going to fly from New York and we're going to end up in South Africa. And he was like, what? I was like, yeah, we're going to South Africa, man. He's like, oh, are you serious? What? I was like, yeah, you and I are going to go hang out and we're going to South Africa. I have an event that I have to do there. I'm going to be speaking, but I want you to come with me. And so just hearing his joy on the phone, it just made me joyful. It lit me up. It was validation for me, that initial response. It was validation for all of the people that told me, no, I'm not interested. I don't want what you're selling. I'm not, I don't think it's going to work. All of the people that started with me and they fell off, all the people that told me we were going to go straight to the top together and they quit, all the people that flaked out and didn't show up and said they'd be there and they weren't there. It was validation for every hard thing that I had to endure, because I kept pressing forward, because I never lost sight of my dreams and my goals. I never lost sight of that. Even though I was getting my ass kicked some days, I just kept getting up and getting after it, because in my mind, the more resistance I would get, I would force multiply my actions. I would just do more and more, because I knew that I can outwork my resistance. I can outwork the results that I'm not getting yet until I get the results that I want. As long as I kept my foot on the gas and I kept pressing forward, it was inevitable that I was going to get the results I was desiring and that I was committed to. So we get on the flight and he's like, he's just having a blast. I mean, he's enjoying the food, he's enjoying the drinks, the alcohol. We had some champagne. It was just a phenomenal flight. Just the flight. We had such a good time. And, we're enjoying each other's company and we're sharing stories and we're going through the experiences. And then we're in a bungalow. I think that's what you call it, but it's like, it's a really nice, yeah, it's like a bungalow. And so he had his own, I had my own. And he just enjoyed himself. I took him on a safari. He came obviously to the event that I was speaking at and had a chance to meet a lot of the people that had nice things to say about me. So, like, you want your parents, your father. I want my dad to be proud of what I'm doing, and it was really cool. Like, I could not have asked for anything greater. And they were very nice, and they shared some of the things that they had gotten from me over the years, and it was just awesome to be able to have him just get his shine on. I wanted to give him his flowers. I wanted him to recognize that he did good, that he gave me principles of discipline and work ethic, and going above and beyond that stayed with me my entire life. And some of what he was experiencing was a direct result of what he instilled in me. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a memory that you can't buy that. You can't put it on a card. You can't snatch it off the internet and send it in a video form. It is a memory that was created that he will have for the rest of his days. I have the ability to use that as a utopian moment, as a reminder of what is available if I continue to do the work. And no one can ever take it away from us. No one can ever take it away from him that his son is the only of his children that took him on an international business class flight to South Africa for 6 days or 5 days and took him on a safari and gave him a spending budget and just spoiled him. Dreams can come true. You have to be committed. It's not easy. I'm telling you, it's not easy. I've said this before. For many of you, it will be the hardest thing that you ever do because you haven't really tested yourself up to this point in your life. There are things inside of you that you haven't even reached for yet that are available. And if you do that, the people that stand to gain, that will be a bigger driver than your own desires sometimes. And that's a beautiful thing. So I wanted to share that story with you because I want you to have those experiences. Some of you have already been doing stuff like this, but it's a wonderful gift to be able to give. It's a blessing to be able to give. And we can only give if we're earning. We can only earn if we're putting in the work. And we want to get ourselves to a level where we have way more cash flow coming in every month than we can possibly spend. And that way we can be a continual blessing, just blessing people with random things, blessing them with random acts of kindness, blessing them with bills paid, blessing them with paying a car note that month, blessing them with paying a mortgage note that month, blessing them with a trip, blessing them with a brand new car, blessing, 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 blessing. That's what motivates me. That's a driver for me. I love that. I love being able to bless other people. And being able to bless my father with that trip to South Africa changed me forever. And so now that I'm in the trenches, now that I'm doing the work every day, now that I'm, building this business and focusing on scaling and finding others who are just as crazy as I am for that repeat income life. It's a beautiful journey. It's a beautiful struggle. And I am driven to be a blessing. I hope you are too. If you got some value out of this, please like and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in on this Faith Focus and Follow Through Friday. Dreams can come true. Please share this because it is a blessing to be a blessing.